Thank you, Chair Rouser, for holding this hearing on the state of transportation. And if Sam needs to call anyone about getting into D.C., I'm sure he knows someone. It's been a rough time for a lot of travelers over the last week, for sure. This committee has a great story to tell when it comes to transportation, and I am pleased that today's hearing gives us a chance to do that. We'll find the state of transportation is strong thanks to historic levels of transportation investment. Last Congress, this committee answered the calls of states, local and tribal governments, transit agencies, rail, airports, and ports to provide a much-needed boost to the transportation network. Investments from the bipartisan infrastructure law and the Inflation Reduction Act have helped improve the economy and the state of transportation. By passing these bills, Congress gave the construction industry longer-term stability and certainty. As Ms. Benford's testimony points out, if Congress had not passed the BIL, contractors, quote, would likely have seen a cut of 20 to 30% in the work that they were able to bid on. Congress also gave communities across the country the means to take on game-changing projects. In the first 2 years of the BIL, US DOT distributed over $262 billion for states, localities, transit agencies, railroads, airports, and ports to carry out upgrades and priorities, and more is on the way. This includes $185 billion in highway funds, $41 billion in transit, and nearly $13 billion in airport funds. BIL funds have already supported over 40,000 projects that the US DOT administers. In the 2 years since enactment, states have invested federal highway dollars into tens of thousands of additional projects. And today, there's at least one new project in every congressional district thanks to the BIL. Projects across the country mean construction jobs in every region of the country, jobs with good wages, benefits, and working conditions. The BIL investment also means more jobs in transit, trucking, aviation, rail, and maritime sectors. The challenge now is to build and maintain a sufficient pool of skilled workers to tackle all the project opportunities offered by the BIL. And Mr. Millar's testimony from the great state of Washington notes that the entire transportation industry is facing workforce challenges. The BIL includes over $800 million in dedicated funding to train workers for in-demand jobs in manufacturing, semiconductors, and more. It also includes new flexibility for state DOTs to use highway formula funds for apprenticeships, pre-apprenticeships, and community college and vocational school partnerships. I look forward to learning what more Congress can do to support workforce development and training. In the state of freight, transportation is also strong thanks to congressional administrative actions in response to global shocks in the aftermath of the pandemic. The chair mentioned the work that this committee has done specifically over the last year, and BIL funding is helping as well, helping ports move cargo more efficiently, reduce emissions, and compete globally. BIL funding is also helping to tackle the biggest transportation, surface transportation bottlenecks. The passage and implementation of the bipartisan Ocean Shipping Reform Act of 2022, which originated in this committee, thanks to Mr. Johnson, Mr. Garamendi, has also helped support a stronger supply chain. And we'll hear Mr. Edwards' testimony today. The international supply chain normalized in 23. Shipping container rates have fallen, port congestion has eased, shipper complaints have received quicker action and positive outcomes, and the Federal Maritime Commission has enhanced fee fairness and transparency. These reforms mean that when new international challenges arise and strain the global and domestic supply chain, the U.S. will be better prepared to react. So today's hearing is a welcome review of how well infrastructure investments are working, but keeping our transportation systems in good repair, resilient, and ready for the future freight and passenger demand will require an ongoing investment. Reliable and robust investment in infrastructure is key to the long-term success and sustainability of our transportation systems and supply chain networks for decades to come. And I'm committed to working with the chair of the full committee and even a substitute here today to ensure this committee continues to provide the necessary resources to support the economy, the traveling public, and America's transportation workers. And I want to thank the witnesses for being here today to help us out. And Mr. Chair, before we get started, if I could just ask an indulgence to do a quick introduction, Mr. Millar. Thank you.
So ordered.
Thank you. We're going to hear from the Secretary of Transportation of the Washington State Department of Transportation, Roger Millar, who's here today despite our own state legislature just having opened up their session. So he's probably got time to testify, answer questions, and get the heck out of Dodge to get back home. But he was our deputy in 2015 and appointed secretary in August of 2016. oversees an agency that is a steward of a complex multimodal transportation system and responsible for ensuring that people and goods move safely and efficiently. I won't go into his full biography, but he's been active in groups like that are very familiar to us, including being the current president of AASHTO, the board of directors there, as well as actively involved in a variety of engineering groups, intelligent transportation system groups, as well as a variety of other infrastructure. So it's great to have Roger here in town for the few moments he could spare with us to help us out. So with that, I yield back.
And thank